Hey there guys, this is the 63 Willys wagon that we purchased, and it's a project vehicle. When we got it, it had a number of modifications already done to it, and we took it a little bit further down the road, did a lot of the heavy welding and replacing of all the rotted out floorboards. This is going to be sold. We're not planning on fixing this one up all the way to the end. We're going to hand it off and let somebody else finish that, but let's walk around and talk about some of the things that this Jeep has done to it. First of all, it's really straight. Very little rust. What rust there was all on the floor pans, and those have been replaced. It has had the body off. The frame has been sandblasted, primed, and painted, and is outfitted with axles off a 76 International Scout. These are the shorter width Dana 44s. Has rebuilt brakes on the front and on the rear. The transmission is a rebuilt turbo 350, and the transfer case is the Dana 20 out of the International as well. That makes it a single stick throw. Have the drive lines. The drive lines will probably need to be lengthened, just due to the drivetrain changes. And you can see on the springs it has shackles that are, those are about a 4-inch shackle extension on the front and rears. So those are the stock springs. You know, the one piece of body work that we didn't really look at was there is a dent right here in the lower tailgate, which will take some fixing. But overall, there's no rust in the lower section, as is typical with all the wagons. They rot out at the bottom where the piano hinge attaches. So the gray patches are where we did do some body. This was pushed in all the way, and so we popped it out from the inside and went ahead and floated some filler over it, and that made it all fit nice and correctly. We previous owner or somebody down the line had cut a hole in the side of the body to add an auxiliary gas tank, in which they cut a hole in the floorboard. We went ahead and welded in some new sheet metal there. Again, floated over some filler. So you can see the floor is got a Rust-Oleum rust preventer on there. That's what we put on the brand new sheet metal to prevent any future growth of anything. The steering column is just set in there. That came out of an 82 Suburban. It's just there for mock-up. It does have a GM steering gearbox that's welded up to the front, so it's on its way to having power steering, getting away from the old Ross box. And you know, the one thing I can say about this Jeep from having worked on these is that it has just about everything. You're not going to be going out and searching for all those little pieces that are hard to find. We went ahead and scraped the ceiling, sprayed it with a rust eater, got it down to a bare metal, and again prepped it with that Rust-Oleum heavy rust primer. And then after that, we went ahead and we had some kill mat strips or sheets, and we cut them into strips and then put it on there to kind of get rid of some of that tin can sound. It just kind of takes the project a little bit further down the road for you. We cleaned up all the window trim bezels, which had surface rust growing on them, but they are wet sanded down and primered in a satin. Let's take a look underneath the hood here. So out of the donor vehicle being an 82 Suburban, you'll find the 350 small block in there. It is a rebuild situation, and taking the valve covers off and the intake manifold, we could see large deposits of burnt up oil in there. Just nothing I would ever want to run myself. But what's new on here is obviously the dress up kit part, but that is a brand new Edelbrock intake manifold with a Edelbrock Performer carburetor. The HEI distributor in the back is brand new. The headers are new. Again, all this was put together so that it could be mocked up and figure out where to weld in the motor mounts to hold this V8. You should notice that the firewall has been modified a little bit in the back. It's had a box welded on to allow room for that distributor. It's got the brake booster you can see with the new master cylinder on there, and then on the other side of the firewall it has the rest of the bracket tree to hold the brake pedal in place. So all that's kind of worked out. But there's things that need to be done on this still. That, like I said, if you have a motor, great, drop it in there. It's ready to rock and roll. But steering needs to be completed, being hooked up. You may not like that junky looking steering column. You can always find cheap ones on Summit. That is a new radiator. Previous owner put in a small tranny cooler there. It's not hooked up to anything, so I don't personally like the look of seeing it there. It could be moved. But all in all, it's a great starter. Surprisingly, not all bashed in and beat to hell. Very untypical. From what I understand is that this was used in the forestry department for the state of Nevada. This is the original color, this green. It was not a two-tone vehicle. I do have the passenger side seat. It's just not bolted in at the moment, so there is only front row seats, no rear seats. And they, of course, are rebuilds, but all the frame and springs are there in place. So okay, so these are a variety of parts and pieces that go with the wagon, from the original heater box, the bumperettes and the bumperette supports that go on the back bumper. Here's a whole extra set of body mounts that I had, just a little 3-inch or 3/4 inch to 1-inch body mounts. This is a low-car brand shifter that would work for a shift on the column to that automatic transmission, so that's all there to be hooked up. We got the starter to that GM 350, the armrest to the rear, the original dome light, brake pedal that needs to be welded to the existing pedal that's hanging down, 3 drive lines. You can pick which one fits best and then replace the U-joints. Our water pump there, or I'm sorry, power steering pump. What am I talking about? It's got a new alternator with some chrome accessories, chrome dipstick. New choke cable if you're gonna have a carburetor that needs to choke. Some gaskets for the headers that are on there. Just little things. This goes to the passenger side. Underneath, just a variety of things. Here's all brand new steel or pipe to do tubing. I'm sorry, to do the brake lines over the axles. Those need to be replaced. But yeah, a little bit of something everywhere here.
If you guys like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a previous video going over what we've done to this wagon and what condition it was in before. We've done all our restorations that were needed. Our asking price is $8,500 or best offer, and we are located in Central California. We will also have our Facebook link in the description, so you guys can go to that ad and see more pictures and more descriptive information on that ad as well. So $8,500 for this beast. It's a 63 Willys, and it comes with all these parts as well. So if you guys like what you see, hit that like button, and don't forget to have a great day. Peace out.